Hi, everybody, and welcome to Maverick O'Sullivan's Story Time. Do you remember back when Mike Pence went to NASA and there was a picture all over the internet of him touching something that said, "Do not touch"? Back then, I made a story about that. And just recently, when he wasn't wearing a mask at the Mayo Clinic, I decided it's time to dig up that story and share it with you. The story is Mike Pence and the Chocolate Factory. We start just outside the doors of the factory, with the 5 kids and their family members waiting to get in. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Pence and his security guards jump them and take their tickets. Willy Wonka comes out, does his little falling gag, and Pence is not impressed. "I can do that," Pence mumbles. Willy Wonka approaches with a confused look on his face. He leans back and forth to see around the guards. "Where are the children?" Wonka asks. Pence plays stupid. "My son is in Bermuda and my daughters are on a jet to England." Maybe he wasn't playing. "What? Oh no, I mean the contestant winners." "That's us." Pence raises his hands to indicate him and a group of 7 guards all have tickets. "And no one else." Not to be beaten so easily, Wonka responds, "That can't be. In the news, I saw several children win the golden tickets." "Fake news," Pence declares with conviction. "Fine, follow me." As Wonka leads the group to a pair of doors, a sign says, "Danger, experimental research. Safe tour." "All right, we'll go this way." Wonka leads them to the safe tour door. "Nah," Pence declares, "I'm gonna go this way." Wonka starts to retort, but suddenly stops in thought. A devious smile crosses his face and he says, "You know what? That's actually a good idea." "Of course it is," Pence scoffs. "It was my idea first." Shaking his head, Wonka leads Pence through the door. Down a flight of stairs is a room full of candy strewn about everywhere in piles. "If you just follow me along the path, we can begin the tour through that door," Wonka announces to the group. Instead, Pence walks off to eat candy. Wonka raises his index finger. "This is the trash room. This is all discarded candy." Pence notices a fast-moving stream of chocolate and bends over to drink. When he starts to lose his balance, a security guard pulls him back. In the tussle, the guard loses his balance and falls in. Pulled by the current, the guard drifts towards a whirlpool and is sucked down into it as he screams. "That can't be good," Wonka thinks aloud. "That's basically a garbage disposal." "I'm bored," Pence grumbles. "What's next?" The next room is full of vats. "This room is full of candy in the experimental phases," Wonka announces. "I have been trying to create candy with a burst of flavor by using an expanding candy. Unfortunately, it's still very dangerous to ingest." "Ooh," Pence exclaims as he sees a small bin of candy with a sign over it. "Danger. Do not consume. Candy for testing only." Pence immediately reaches in to grab a piece, and one of his guards grabs his hand, saying, "Sir, I can't allow you to eat this. It's dangerous." "I don't believe you," Pence announces. "Candy is God's candy, and God wouldn't hurt me." "Sir, read the sign." "The only thing I read is the Bible, not documents, nor constitutions, nor signs. I won't be tempted by Satan's flashy letters." "Sir, I can assure you that the candy is dangerous to eat." On the side, Wonka lightly says, "No, please, don't let him eat it." Pence doesn't even notice Wonka as he tells his guard, "Prove it, eat it." The guard opens his mouth to object as Pence shoves the candy into it. The candy starts expanding in his mouth as he tries to claw it out. He manages to rid himself of several globs, but his mouth is still full. "It's no use," Wonka states. "It's already going down his throat." The guard falls to the ground and writhes around as his face turns blue. The other guards try to help him. After a minute that seems like forever, the guard slows down, then goes limp. Wonka blows a whistle, summoning several Oompa Loompas. "They'll return the body to the Secret Service while you continue the tour, if that's really what you want to do," Wonka explains. Pence looks up at Wonka. "Why wouldn't I?" Wonka leads the group to a round room full of bubbles rising out of a round platform and says, "Here we have fizzy lifting drinks. Ever wanted to float around like an astronaut? That's the goal of this stuff. But we're still working out the kinks. I'll show you to the testing room." He leads them around the bubble-generating platform to a door across the room. They enter a tall, padded room with a few bottles in a nearby glass case. Above the case, it says, "Warning, do not remove from room." Wonka continues, "In order to avoid potentially dangerous situations caused by weightlessness, I have made this room as a safe environment for testing." "This room is boring," Pence complains. "Show me more stuff." "Very well," Wonka says as they return out the door they came through. Pence is the last to enter the round room while drinking a fizzy lifting drink. He doesn't even notice himself lifting off the floor as he continues chugging. One of the guards turns around to check for Pence. Then he rushes into the padded room, looks around, and comes out, shaking his head to the other guards. They spin around frantically looking for Pence when suddenly they hear him from above. "Wow," Pence says as he looks around. "I'm being raptured." He looks down. "You sinners should have listened to me. I always know what's best." As he looks down, his guards are looking up to see a whirling fan above Pence. One guard runs into the testing chamber, grabs a pair of drinks, and hands one to another guard. They exchange nervous looks, cling the bottles together, and down them while crouching. As it starts to take effect, they spring off the ground like chugging torpedoes headed straight for Pence. They reach him as he's tumbling in the air, unable to stay upright. When they throw him down, all their force is on his stomach, which in turn causes him to vomit as he's pushed down. His descent gradually quickens and he lands in a puddle of his own vomit. Then screams fill the room and blood rains down on everyone except Wonka, who had already stepped out as if he didn't realize the group had lagged behind. When the group exits the room, Wonka looks back wide-eyed. "Dear Lord, what happened?" Wonka exclaims, playing off his surprise as though it was from the blood and not the fact that Pence was still alive. Pence met this question without a reply, and Wonka added, "Are you okay?" Pence blinks. "Oh, I thought you were addressing the Lord. I didn't want to interrupt." Wonka arches an eyebrow before saying, "I have a special device which is good for quick cleaning. You basically ride through a portal which selectively transports the filth separately from you. Follow me." The group, now fully cleaned off, enters a room full of mechanical wonders producing balloon-sized chocolate eggs. The eggs are gently placed on a scale by the mechanisms. When the indicator on the scale tips to the red portion of the scale, the egg is dropped through a chute below. When the scale remains in the green, the chute remains closed as an Oompa Loompa retrieves the egg. Right above the scale is a sign clearly saying, "Danger, do not stand on scale." "These eggs are going to be the envy of Cadbury." Wonka raises his hands in a wondrous gesture towards the mechanism. "Well, that is if we can get the machine to stop pumping random eggs with engine oil runoff rather than the fluffy cream designed for them. Since the oil weighs more than the cream, anything beyond a certain weight threshold might be contaminated and is dropped into the incinerator." Pence runs up to one of the weights and gleefully announces, "I'm going to save the babies before they're aborted." When he can't reach the eggs, he starts to climb atop a scale to get higher as his bodyguards rush towards him. Pence climbs over the slide, places a foot on the scale, and is immediately dropped down the chute. One of his guards manages to grab Pence's hand at the last second. Another guard leans down to grab Pence's other hand. Pence then proceeds to climb over their backs to safety, pulling on their belts, causing them to slip further in. Unfortunately, as he gets atop them, he grabs a falling egg and jumps off the guards, pushing them into the chute. Upon landing, he drops the egg, only to see that there is only cream inside. "Oh, no baby?" Pence turns his head sideways like a confused puppy. Finally, Wonka announces we reach the computer room. Inside is a series of computer screens, wires, and an 8-foot storage device sticking out from a nearby platform. The platform has large writing on it stating, "Danger, digitalizing zone, stay off platform." Here, we're working on turning three-dimensional objects into digital data to be reestablished at a later time. Imagine storing a perfect Christmas dinner indefinitely, so you can download it a month later without it even getting cold. It would change food storage and preservation on an unprecedented scale. Unfortunately, the molecules shift in the current model. resulting in everything pretty much becoming globs of foodstuff in the end. Pence walks up to the platform and says, "I want a picture with the giant USB. Where's the picture taker?" He picks up a remote control under a sign that says "Caution for use by trained engineers only." As he fumbles with the remote, a guard pushes him away, and a flash of light fills the room. After the flash, Pence sits up on the floor and sees the guard is gone. On one of the computer screens, the guard is raising his hands as the screen fills with static. Pence looks around and says, "I'm going to need more guards." Wonka leads Pence towards the back door and says, "That's the end of the tour. Now get out." Pence starts to walk towards the door, then turns around. He puts a small sphere on a nearby table. Wonka looks at it and asks, "What's that for?" "I broke a tooth on this candy I found in your factory, so I'm going to sue you for damages and emotional trauma." This is a marble. Also, out of everything that happened, this caused you emotional trauma? Tell it to the judge. As Pence reaches for the door, Wonka interrupts. "Wait, there's one more thing I can show you. It's a special elevator. I've been on elevators before. Not like this one. This one goes to heaven." "Okay." Wonka leads Pence to a room with a large rocket, grabs a tablet on a nearby stand and says, "This was originally meant as a mass candy distributor, but the burst would cause all the candy to burn up in the process. Now it's an elevator to heaven because reasons." Above the hatch on the rocket is a warning sign that reads, "Warning, no entry, candy only." "Sounds legit," Pence nods as they enter the rocket. "I'm pretty sure I heard about that. It's got all the fancy gadgets and stuff." "Right," Wonka says as he messes with the settings on the tablet. "Almost ready. Yay, I'm going to heaven." Wonka chuckles and patronizes. "Yeah, I'm sure that's what'll happen. Here, play Angry Birds while we wait." Wonka hands Pence the tablet. Pence's phone rings and he answers, "Yes, honey. No, I'm on the tour. No, I understand. I won't forget the milk. Okay, love you. Bye." "Sorry, I have to go." The launch countdown starts at 30 as Pence pushes the hatch open, the tablet with the rocket controls still in his hand. Since the rocket is made for candy, there's no opening or closing the mechanism on the inside, only the outside. That's why it wasn't locked. Additionally, that's also why when Pence closes the hatch and turns the handle, the sputtering Wonka realizes all too late that he can't get out. Pence exits the room and closes the door as the countdown reaches 5. Wonka frantically bangs on the hatch, but to no avail. Pence walks off, wondering aloud, how did he do that rolling thing? Hope you enjoyed the story. Just me having fun with stuff, and feel free to support my page, become a patron on my Patreon. Every bit helps, and I appreciate you. Take care. Special thanks to a couple close friends of mine and one of my first patrons, Cat and Wolf Gaming. These are two real goobers who like to make gaming videos, and their passion for it really shows. Check it out. You might enjoy them, and they're definitely good people to support. Thank you.